And what I'd like to do now is I'm going to turn this over to the real expert here, Anthony Pax, who is the website genius and the creator of our website. Anthony.
Thanks very much for inviting me out here. It's not very often we get a chance to meet our clients in person, shake their hands, and really kind of show them what we did and how the technology we produce works. So it's really a great opportunity. I'm going to get the presentation going here. Mobile Real Estate ID is a partner company with Mobile Cardcast. So we produce all different types of mobile technologies, from text messaging campaigns to full-blown custom websites, really called WAP sites. It's really what a mobile website's called. So we try to really run the gamut and offer as many different types of technologies to get you, the company, working with mobile technologies and making sure that they work for you, because the world is going mobile. And we're going to talk about some of the numbers, which I think will surprise you. But for all intents and purposes, we provide all different types of mobile technologies for all different types of clients. Our technology, what we did for Premier, we're going to talk about two main things. Ultimately, I want to show you the results of the actual mobile site, talk about the relationship between all the web stuff we just talked about, which was a lot to swallow, I understand, and how that relates to the mobile site. And I also want to talk about the technology that mobile is and how it's evolving. And the numbers, I think, are going to impress you and surprise a lot of you as well. Really quickly, if we just did nothing at all and we took the regular website, we've all seen it a million times, if we did nothing at all, we'd see something like this on most mobile web-enabled devices, okay? All we'd see is, well, there's the site, okay, we have some small text we can barely see. You probably get that ugly plugin that we've seen on the web once in a while, because most devices do not support Flash Player, and of course we have the Flash element on the site there. So what we had to do was we had to figure out a way to keep the brand, and this is very important. What we'll talk about later on is a lot of mobile sites that companies are spending a ton on, they're not even keeping their brand true to their brand. So we tried to keep the brand itself, keep all the elements, and even keep the flashiness of the pictures. And what we ended up with was something just like this. Much more mobile enabled. The text is there. It's right in front of your face. And you can see the search links are there. This actually, on certain devices, if you go to premierestateproperties.com right now, you'll see that this is actually a rotating banner, and you can see some of the different properties for sale, just as you would on the regular site. The site itself, we did the site, we converted it, we kept it. It's certainly the best site we've created to date, because it's fully customized. Joe and I worked countless hours on making sure that it was just right, that it had the right feel, and that it was, ultimately practical, usable. We have the full property search. We can search by GPS, by your location if the phone supports it. That's fully enabled. And we also did the gateway application, which I'll explain all later on. I don't want to delve too deep into the actual site, because Joe and I are going to do a live demo. We're going to show you exactly what the site is, and you'll see, firsthand. Really quickly, though, I want to show you some of the questions that we get all the time as mobile technology experts, and these are really good questions, and I think they really need to be answered for us to appreciate what we have in the mobile site. You can read them. I'm not going to read them one by one, but these are the questions that we get berated with all the time. What's going on? Shouldn't I get an app? Isn't an app better? I don't understand. What's a mobile website compared to a regular one? And we're going to talk about that right now. So the big difference, as you can see, with a mobile site and a regular PC is the screen size. The obvious thing is you pull out your devices, you see all of you have them today, and the screen size is much different. 2 inches, 3 inches maybe compared to a 19-inch monitor, 20-inch monitor. So the size of a mobile site has to fit and be a little bit more appropriate for the device you're using it on. Of course, other difference is that vertically, we kind of think vertically with websites today. They're here, they're rectangular. Some of them are in 16:9, kind of like this presentation. Well, mobile's different. Mobile's more of a vertical medium, and you have to kind of contour your site to make sure that it scrolls up and down, not so much left and right. If you've ever been on some of your competitors' websites, I'll certainly tell you to go to them right now on your phones. You're going to see they're tiny. You could barely navigate them. You have to zoom in and scroll left and scroll right. It's not entirely usable. So really quickly, those are the main differences. The other two differences are the content. If you go to a regular website on your mobile device, it still has to download all of the things that are on that website. Pictures, audio, video, Flash elements. If it exists, won't download, but it'll try. So if you want to compare file size, we're talking anywhere from 100 to 200 kilobytes versus for a mobile site, which should be about 5 max. So there's a huge difference in file size. It's ginormous. And then Otherwise, practicality, how usable is your website on a mobile device? Again, the screen size is different. Once you get all the data downloaded, can you even use it? Can the drop-down menus work? Can you see the text? Is everything really viewable? Is it practical? Is it a good experience, or are we going to get those bounce rates? So I'm really glad to have this opportunity after we talk web, because you're going to understand all the lingo, because Patrick did such a great job explaining it through the first presentation. So isn't my regular website good enough? This is the basic question, and the answer is I don't know. You tell me. Go to any other website, some of your competitors' websites, go to some of your personal websites that you may have. You tell me. Go on your mobile devices right now and do it, and you tell me if it's usable, if it's practical, if you have to zoom in, and what kind of experience from a customer standpoint do you have? Obviously, I'm trying to move a little fast because I'm jacked up on coffee, but I also want to get you guys to lunch. So just forgive me. I don't want to go too fast. I'm definitely available for questions. If you have them right now, by all means, raise your hand. But it might be better during lunch to kind of go over it one by one, and we could certainly talk about whatever. So when you go to Google.com, we spoke about Google forever for the first half. Really important. Google is way ahead. They're number one. They're 80% way above the competition. But when you go to their site on your mobile device, you don't go to Google.com. You go to their mobile site. As you can see right here, there's the mobile version. You could go to the classic if you really want to, but they've already done the work for you, and their job, folks, is done. You search through Google, whatever search results come up, they're done. They don't really care what happens after that. If your site's mobile enabled, well, good luck. That's great. If not, they may go to a different hit. So that's really the question that you have to kind of ask. Is it good enough? You tell me. Go to the sites and experience them and see if they really work. The world is going mobile, and I want you to kind of in your head think about 6.7 billion people on the planet, maybe 6.8 give or take. How many individual mobile subscriptions do you think are really out there right now? And the number is probably going to surprise you. 5 billion individual subscriptions in the world. I know, it's outrageous. Even I can't believe it. And this number is growing at a rate of 2 million per day. I looked at this stat not 6 months ago. It was 4.5 billion. And I was putting 4.6 in one of the recent articles, and I said, let me just double check Ericsson.com, and sure, 5 billion different subscriptions out there. Now raise your hand if you have a mobile subscription to a device, mobile device subscription. Raise your hand. Everybody, okay. Do you have it on you right now? Likely, yeah, you're not going to leave home without it. It is your personal computer, and it will be your personal computer. But getting more into that subject as to where this is all going. So we have all these subscriptions. What are they doing? Of course, this is just some of the phones out there. But we're really a mobile revolution taking place. How many people are really surfing the web, though? So we have all these subscriptions. We know that not every device can surf the web. Many of them can. You don't need a BlackBerry or an iPhone or an Android to surf the web, folks. I can assure you of that. A lot of the other phones, called feature phones, are doing it as well. And we'll look at some of the other, evidence here. The Tomy Ahonen Almanac here, 2010. I think this was released in February. Total PC-based internet user base, about 1.2 billion people. That's a lot of people, as you can tell. And it may also surprise you to think, well, how many people are doing, mobile-enabled web hits? And we're looking at 1.3, already surpassing.
I just want to point out here, this is why we felt that this was a viable option for us, is because of the fact that when you see this number of 1.2 and you see this 1.3 with 2 million people coming in on a daily basis, what we're trying to do again is drive more traffic to your listings, which will, through what Patrick has done, is then convert those into buyers or even sellers. So this is why we felt 6 months ago when we started this project, as you can see, the company is being progressive in what we're trying to do in order to drive more business. And this is right here the reason why we felt it was necessary to do that.
Exactly. You guys just talked for a couple hours about why a website is so important, why search results are so important, why Google is so important. It is. It's tremendous. It can save your business, of course. But we actually, now we're talking about the way that mobile can also play a role. And is it playing a role? And that's really the question I wanted to ask. I'm not trying to give a technology lesson, but it's important to understand this is an extremely fast-growing industry. And in all different walks, we're seeing increases. Even in this recession, even in the economy the way that it is, we're seeing smartphone sales skyrocket. People are still finding a way to spend $200 on a smartphone average price, and they're still finding a way to pay $100, $120, $80, whatever amount of dollars per month to maintain that plan. There's a reason for it. It's important. You don't leave your house without your cell phone, your mobile device. So moving along here, we're seeing now the feature phones. Anything other than a smartphone, the big phones, the Windows devices, the BlackBerries, Android, iPhones, those are really the smartphones. There's a lot of them out there other than those, but they're taking over. The feature phones are not in demand as much, and the manufacturers are answering the call. So really quickly, we're seeing feature phones going down in sales, and we're seeing the smartphones just climbing and climbing, and every day this is happening. So by the holiday season, you're going to see a lot of new types of smartphones which may fit different lifestyles. Not everybody likes the BlackBerry, not everybody wants the iPhone. There's going to be other types of smartphones out there that maybe don't do as much, but do a lot more than make calls and text. So we're seeing all those. And then there's a lot of other people that are predicting that half of mobile users will be web-enabled by 2013. And I got to tell you the truth, I think that number is maybe even a bit low. But even if it's close, even if it's half of all the mobile subscriptions out there that are now accessing the web, that's a tremendous amount. So, coming back to the main question, do you want your website to work just like you want your mobile site to work, or vice versa? It has to, because people are going to search for you. And we'll get into why, it may distract people to go to a regular website on a mobile device later on, and we'll show you that.